Most of the bushes growing in your backyard right now have a secret almost no one talks about. They don't actually die, not the way you think. The individual stems come and go on a normal timeline, but the genetic plant itself, the underground network of roots and crowns and suckers, can keep regenerating itself for 2 centuries or longer. Plant the right 7 bushes one single afternoon, and you will hand your great-great-grandchildren a living pantry that still produces food, medicine, and pollinator habitat long after every fence post you ever drove into the ground has rotted away. That is what the next 12 minutes are about. 7 specific bushes, ranked from impressive to almost unbelievable, that can feed a family for 200 years on a single planting. Number 3 is the strongest candidate on the entire list. Cold hardy down to -40 degrees and packed with more than 190 bioactive nutrients. And number 7, the one we crown at the very end, contains the highest polyphenol and anthocyanin content of any common berry on planet Earth. Stay with me, because by the end you will know exactly what to put in the ground this season. Let's start at number 7 with the elderberry, both Sambucus nigra from Europe and Sambucus canadensis from North America. Here is the magic of this plant. Each individual cane only lives 10 to 20 years, which sounds short, but the root crown beneath the soil keeps sending up brand new shoots year after year, decade after decade. A single elderberry patch will keep going for 60 years or more on its own root mass, and once you start dividing and transplanting the natural suckers, the lineage becomes effectively permanent. You will be eating berries from descendants of the original plant for as long as you keep tending the patch, and it starts paying you back fast. You can expect fruit within 3 to 5 years of planting. The dark purple clusters that hang under those white flower umbels are not just beautiful. They contain a specific anthocyanin called cyanidin-3 sambubioside that binds directly to the influenza neuraminidase enzyme, one of the molecular mechanisms the flu virus uses to spread inside your body. Randomized double-blind clinical trials have shown that elderberry extract shortens flu duration and reduces symptom severity. The polysaccharides in the berry also stimulate dendritic cells and T cells, giving your immune system a measurable boost. One bush, white flowers in spring, immune-supporting syrup in fall, for 60 years and counting. At number 6, we have the hazelnut, including both the American Corylus americana and the European Corylus avellana, sometimes called filbert. This is a multi-stemmed shrub that suckers prolifically, which is the technical way of saying that a hazelnut hedge is functionally immortal. As the old stems get tired and slow down after about 40 years of nut production, new stems are already pushing up from the base to replace them. You never have to replant. The hedge simply rolls forward through time. You can start harvesting nuts in year 2 or 3, with full production by year 8, and these are not empty calories. Hazelnuts are 82 to 83% monounsaturated fat, which is actually a higher percentage than olive oil. Meta-analyses of human dietary trials show that diets enriched with hazelnuts reduce LDL cholesterol, lower systemic inflammation markers, and improve endothelial function, the ability of your blood vessels to relax and dilate properly. In early spring, the bare branches drape with golden catkins, and by autumn, you get clustered nuts wrapped in those papery green husks the squirrels will absolutely try to steal from you. But there is a much more impressive bush coming up at number 3, so keep listening. Number 5 on the list is sea buckthorn, sometimes sold as seaberry, scientifically known as Hippophae rhamnoides. This is the plant I want you to take seriously as the strongest candidate on the entire list for a true 200-year bush. Sea buckthorn spreads by root sprouts into massive clonal colonies, which means the original genetic plant biologically never has to die. New stems keep emerging from the running root system indefinitely. It is also one of the toughest food plants on Earth. Cold hardy to -40 degrees Fahrenheit. It thrives in poor, sandy, rocky, alkaline soils where almost nothing else will grow. It actually fixes its own nitrogen out of the air through root nodules, so it builds soil fertility as it goes. The berries are the real reward. They contain more than 190 distinct bioactive nutrients and an exceptionally high concentration of vitamin C, often several times higher than orange juice by weight. They also contain a rare omega-7 fatty acid called palmitoleic acid, which clinical research has linked to better glucose metabolism, lower cholesterol, and reduced systemic inflammation. One critical detail you absolutely have to know before you buy plants. Sea buckthorn is dioecious, which means each plant is either male or female. The females produce the berries, but they will not set fruit unless a male is nearby to pollinate them. The standard ratio is 1 male for every 6 to 8 females. Plant them wrong, and you will wait years for berries that never come. Plant them right, and you get bright orange berry clusters packed tightly along silver-leaved thorny branches every single year, essentially forever. At number 4, we have the highbush blueberry, Vaccinium corymbosum. The long-lived nature of a properly maintained blueberry bush genuinely surprises people. 50 years or more is normal. With renewal pruning every 7 to 10 years, where you cut the oldest unproductive canes down to the base and let fresh young wood take over, a single blueberry crown stays productive for decades. The anthocyanins that give blueberries their deep blue color are some of the most studied compounds in human nutrition research. Clinical trials have shown that regular blueberry consumption improves memory and cognitive function in older adults, supports cardiovascular health, and provides powerful antioxidant defense at the cellular level. There is one non-negotiable rule with blueberries though, and this is the catch I want to flag clearly. They demand acidic soil. We are talking pH between 4.5 and 5.5. If your soil is neutral or alkaline, you have to amend it heavily with peat, pine bark, or sulfur, and you have to keep amending it over the years. Get the soil right, and you get glossy dark blueberries every summer, delicate white bell-shaped flowers in spring, and brilliant red foliage in fall that rivals any ornamental shrub on the market. Now, we arrive at number 3, the blackcurrant, Ribes nigrum. This long-lived woody perennial holds productive crowns for 30 years or more, but here is what makes it functionally immortal. Blackcurrants are absurdly easy to propagate from hardwood cuttings. You can take a pencil-thick piece of last year's wood in late winter, stick it in the ground, and it will root and become a new plant. That means a single original bush becomes a perpetual genetic line that you and your descendants can keep planting, replanting, and gifting to neighbors indefinitely. The nutritional profile is where blackcurrants really shine. They contain the highest anthocyanin density of any common berry, specifically cyanidin and delphinidin rutinoside, which are some of the most potent antioxidants identified in human food. Daily blackcurrant intake has been clinically shown to improve dyslipidemia, lower chronic inflammation markers, and reduce postmenopausal cardiovascular risk in human trials. The flavor is strong, distinctive, wine-like, which is why blackcurrants are the backbone of so many traditional European syrups, cordials, and jams. Glossy black berries hang in pendulous clusters called strigs, and a mature row of blackcurrants in full fruit is one of the most abundant sights in any homestead garden. At number 2, we have aronia, also called black chokeberry, scientifically Aronia melanocarpa. Aronia suckers vigorously from the base, lives 30 years or more per crown, and the colony just keeps self-renewing year after year. It is native to North America, ridiculously hardy, and tolerates both wet boggy soil and dry sandy soil without complaint. But the nutrition is what puts aronia near the very top of this list. Research published as recently as 2025 has shown that aronia polyphenols actively suppress major inflammatory signaling pathways, including NF-kappa B, TNF-alpha, IL-6, and COX-2. Those are the same pathways implicated in cardiovascular disease, metabolic syndrome, and chronic pain conditions. Human clinical work has linked regular aronia consumption to lower blood pressure, better insulin sensitivity, and improved blood lipid profiles. The berries are tart, almost mouth-puckering when fresh, which is exactly why they preserve so beautifully into syrups, juices, and dried products. Glossy black berries cluster in flat-topped corymbs, and in fall the foliage turns a spectacular blend of brilliant red and deep purple. An aronia hedge is one of the most underrated investments in any food forest. And at number 1, the crown of the list, we have the gooseberry and currant family, Ribes uva crispa for gooseberries and Ribes rubrum for red and white currants. Each plant can live 20 to 30 years or more, and just like their blackcurrant cousins, cuttings root readily, making the lineage effectively immortal across generations. They are high in vitamin C, dietary fiber, and phenolic acids. They are shelf-stable when preserved into jellies, syrups, and dried products, which historically made them a staple winter food across northern Europe. But here is what earns them the top spot. Gooseberries and currants tolerate partial shade. They are productive even in dappled woodland edge conditions, which means you can layer them underneath taller fruit and nut trees in a true food forest design. Translucent green, red, or amber berries hang in pendulous clusters that look almost like jewelry. They give you fruit in places where nothing else will fruit, and they keep doing it generation after generation. So here is why this works as a genuine 200-year plan, and this is the idea I want you to really sit with. These are not single-trunk trees with a fixed biological death date written into their genetics. These are colony-forming shrubs that propagate themselves through root suckers, ground layers, and hardwood cuttings. A 200-year-old elderberry patch, a 200-year-old hazelnut hedge, a 200-year-old aronia thicket. It is not the same original stem from 2 centuries ago. It is the same genetic plant, continuously regenerating itself through its own natural processes, while you simply prune for renewal every 7 to 10 years and let nature do what nature does. One afternoon of planting, 7 bushes, free food, free medicine, free pollinator habitat, and a living inheritance for your kids, your grandkids, and the people who will be tending your land long after anyone remembers your name. If even one of these 7 has been quietly waiting in the back of your mind, this might be the season to finally put it in the ground. Try one this year. See what happens. The patch you start this spring is the same patch your great-grandchildren will be harvesting from, and that is a kind of gardening that deserves to be remembered.